My friend Deepak Chopra has often said to me, Wayne, he said, quantum physics is not only stranger than you think it is, it's stranger than you can think. Because you take a tiny little subatomic particle and observe it, and the fact is that the nature of your observing changes what you're observing. If you look at it in a certain way, it becomes one thing. If you turn away, it becomes something else. It's truly a scientific fact that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And now you take this tiny little subatomic particle, and you take it and you put it in a particle accelerator, and you rev up the speed of these things and collide them at 250,000 miles per hour. You collide them, you open up the particle accelerator looking for your source, and guess what's in there? Nothing. No thing. That the dot that began you originated from a field of energy that has no boundaries, no beginnings, no ends. It's infinite. It's an infinite potential. And the question that I have for you is, if you can get this, that you didn't begin with that particle because particles themselves do not create more particles. St. Paul put it this way in the New Testament, that which is seen hath not come from that which doth appear. They talked a little strange in those days, huh? What that means is that everything that we see in the material world doesn't originate in the material world. It's the spirit that gives life. The flesh counts for nothing. If the shape of your eye can be in an energy field that has no boundaries, no form, no materialness to it, why not the shape of your life? Why not everything that you are destined to become? Why can't that be a part of this energy field as well? That you showed up here from a field that I call intention. And that beautiful globe that is here to my left, to your right, is what I am going to call, for the rest of this program, I am going to call this the source from which we all originated. That every particle that shows up on this planet, and that's what Max Planck said, and that's what Carlos Castaneda said, and that's what every metaphysician said, that's what all of the great spiritual teachings on this planet say, that our source is spirit. It is something other than the physical. And if you had a set of magical binoculars, and you could look at that field, what I'm going to describe in this program is what that field would look like. And my suggestion to you here is this, that you are going to, if you want to understand intention and the power of intention, it means suspending your ego, the part of you that believes that you are separate from this source, because that's where all of our problems originated, all of our struggles, even our illnesses. This is a source of well-being. Everything that emanates from this source emanates from a field of well-being. It looks like something. It sounds like something. One of the things that it sounds like, I took from one of the great spiritual traditions in the universe. It's from the Bhagavad Gita, what is called the Hindu holy book, the Song of the Lord. But you can look in any spiritual tradition, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Zoroastrianism or whatever, and basically they all say the same thing. If this source that we call God or soul or spirit, if it could speak, this is what it would sound like. And then later on, I'm going to talk to you about what it looks like. What does it look like? I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. That's what it sounds like. Everything emanates from me. So that means you. And that's why the words, with God all things are possible, means that when you find in your heart a way to reconnect to this, and remember what I talked about in those opening quotes, that this field of intention is a field that is only corroded because we take on something that separates us from the source. And that is called the ego. And the ego is really nothing more than an idea that we carry around. It's the source of virtually all of our problems. The only difficulty is you can't check into a hospital. Like if you got an appendix problem, you check in, get an appendectomy. There's no place that I know of that gives egoectomies. It would be nice, but it doesn't work that way. So that what you want to do is figure out a way to get rid of this idea that who I am is separate from this. And this is your source. And when you reconnect to your source, live in harmony with your source, you are connecting to the field of intention. And when you're with this field of intention, everything that this field of intention from which all material worlds emanate, everything that it can do, you can do, because you are it and it is you. The problems that we have is we've come to a place where we believe that we are separate from it. And so we start to believe that I am what I do, and I am what I have, and I am separate from everybody else, and I am my reputation, and I'm separate from what is missing in my life. But this field from which all things originate, if it's everywhere, it's got to be in you. And if it's everywhere and it has to be in you, it has to also be in everything that you perceive to be missing from your life. It has to be in that too, because there's no place that it's not. And if there's no place that it's not, you literally are already connected to everything that you would like to attract into your life. What keeps you from doing it is your belief that you're separate from your source. We want to reconnect to this source. People ask me the question, what about a free will? If I was intended here, and the shape of my life was intended here from this source, where does that leave me with a free will? Well, where it leaves you with a free will is this. You have a free will to decide whether or not you are going to connect or not connect to that source. That's your free will. If you make a choice, a conscious choice, to stay disconnected from it and believe that you are all of these things that I just illustrated in the ego, this field of intention doesn't know anything about non-well-being. It creates from a source of well-being. It doesn't know anything about fear, about anxiety, about worry. It just is in a constant state of creating. There's a quotation that goes like this: self-realization, which is really reconnecting to your source. Self-realization means that we have been consciously connected with our source of being. We are reconnected to this source, which I'm going to describe in detail in this program, what I believe the faces of intention look like. Once we have made this connection, then absolutely nothing can go wrong. That's from Swami Paramananda. Nothing can go wrong when you reconnect to source. All of our struggles, all of our illnesses, all of the scarcities in our life, all of the problems we have in our relationships, all of this stuff came about because we disconnected ourselves from a field of intention that is nothing but just well-being at work. It only wants you to be in a state of happiness.
Awesome. All right. You guys are muted. Wasn't that amazing?
Completely amazing. Thank you for reminding me.
Isn't it just great? We need to be reminded all the time.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I don't know if you ever went down to see Yogananda's place down in Del Mar, California. Did you ever go there? Self-Realization Fellowship?
No.
What an amazing guy. Anyway, he had mentioned that other teacher, and Wayne Dyer. Oh my God. What a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
So crazy. So what I got from that is, yeah, Wayne Dyer's amazing. You are a field of infinite energy, you know, that's amazing. And a source of well-being. Everything emanates from us out. you know, that's really cool. And everything is about living in harmony with source. And I feel that difference. As soon as you start paying attention to it and connecting with the source, then everything else just starts coming like crazy. And that's, I think everyone that's experienced that knows that for sure. Yeah. And so the source, everything that it can do, you can do. That's an interesting concept.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And the source is part of infinite possibility, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So if it's a part of infinite possibility, then anything it can do, you can do, because you're all a part of it. And that's amazing. And the field of intention, it's the field of intention where nothing can go wrong, because it's all about good and happiness and the power of happiness. That's what it's really about.
Oh,
It's when we
yeah.
start thinking differently, like I don't think really the term ego really connects with people. It doesn't connect with me, but as soon as you start thinking other than that, then problems start to come up and show up and all this stuff. But if you're just connected with source, it's all good. It's all,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 So
Well, you know what else he mentioned that I thought was interesting was like the quantum physics aspect of it, that if everything is from source and we are here and it comes through the field of intention and we have free will to let it in, then it's almost like the source is like a light movie projector, and it is able to, because I believe source really wants our highest good, to direct that light if we're open to receiving it, so that we can then utilize it to create and attract what we want and create the life that we want.
sure. Yeah, and we have that choice whether to be connected or not. It's that we choose
Yeah.
not to be connected.
Yeah. And all suffering is the disconnect. And the ego, I heard once the acronym edging God out.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Because I don't know about the word ego to me, but it just I don't know why it just doesn't connect with me, that word. But it's really who you appear to be, your personality, right? Who you are, how you think, all this stuff, which is not connected with source. It's just, which is where we live in most of the time.
Yeah, I guess,
I
you
think
got your psychological definitions. Like I studied psych for a little while, but too bad that Dolores isn't here. But I guess we have, like, in our psyche, we have like super conscious, super ego. But apparently ego was something that we all like had as children to protect us in this world where we couldn't protect ourselves. So it was like full of the defense mechanisms and how to keep people away, And then they say, I guess at a certain age, it's like you really don't need it anymore because you can take care of yourself. But some people, for whatever reasons, still need it, I guess.
What were you going to say, Betty? You're
I was
on
gonna
mute.
say what I like is the taking myself to the state of happiness and being able to keep myself in that state of happiness. And I find that helpful to keep myself in mind about it, because to remind myself, it's because we're doing network marketing and we go through yo-yo every day in the whole experience. And to remind myself that this is what the guys say, if I could just keep myself in the state of happiness, and that should round off everything to me. So I thought that's pretty interesting. Thanks for sharing.
Right. And that's a good point. Like, if we just keep in that state and enjoy what we're doing, then we're in the state of connecting with source. As soon as we start thinking, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't like this, I don't want to talk to somebody today, I don't want to do that, then that's all what this calling ego. It's the thoughts in your head, right? It's not the source of being in a state of happiness and enjoying whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, it's like being closed, like being a stop sign. And I just love this topic. I think it is just amazing. I remember hearing Diane Hockman one time talking about how she, she studied with Jim Rohn, that she worked harder on herself than she ever did her business.
For sure.
I mean, when I heard that, I remember just light bulbs going off. I was like, wow.
It's probably like 90% working on yourself, 10% working on, what you need to do, or what video you need to watch or share, for sure.
Yeah.
And everybody
Yeah.
flips it around. They spend 90
Yeah.
or even 100% of the time working
Yeah.
on the mechanical stuff and making a list and putting it in a spreadsheet and all that's like.
Oh, I know. I want to share on that later, another time, about Excel spreadsheet and all that, but it's just my own experience with that. But anyway, I remember when I first met Darren, and he was like, because we were connected, I saw him first thing in the morning, early in the morning, and he used to say, early bird gets a worm, and he would just be out there having fun, and talking to people. And I remember watching him just going, I love this man.
Wow.
And so I noticed that a lot of the leaders that were just really morning people, and just, they woke up in that state, and it was just, they would show up and be in that state. And I learned so much about mornings. And anyway, be sure and give him my best.
Yeah, mainly on that topic, before I forget, is if you don't get into that state first thing in the morning before you even jump out of bed, your whole day is like, if you get into the state of happiness and your day is going to be great right from the beginning, then you have a bigger chance of having a successful.
Oh yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we're talking about Darren Little, Betty. I had lunch with him yesterday here in Cabo, and I don't know if you know who Darren is, but a lot of us know him. He's an amazing marketer, one of the best in the world, actually, probably. And so so that's just if you look at it that way, Tina, that's just an energy thing that just showed up.
Oh yeah, he's just
Darren,
energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
So
I
learned
love
a
that
lot
man.
I learned a lot from him yesterday with regards to marketing and social media. He's a master.
Oh yeah, and he's really into the quantum.
Yes, definitely. Of course, everybody that has done anything successful is definitely tuned into what we're talking about here, and into the quantum, into the energy source, into how much that means, and everyone. You look at anyone that's successful in something, they're all connected that way. Or it's I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if anyone is not, and it came to them by fluke. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so
they
either.
all have that in
if it
common.
comes to them by fluke, they lose it or whatever. They go like this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
to be able to spend time with him, Don, I mean, what an honor that he wanted to spend time with you. That's so awesome.
He came to my condo, and we sat around and talked about marketing, and then we had lunch with the mariachi band.
Did he inspire you to move to San Diego? I mean, to Mexico?
No, I've been here 7 years. So that was just, he just showed up a couple days ago, and I showed him around, and he's loving it here. So that's cool. Just to get away from the rain and the cold and all that stress that's going on back home. It's sunny and beautiful here. So, and Betty, talk a little bit about where are you right now? You went to Egypt?
I'm in Alexandria, in Egypt.
Okay, cool. I don't know where that is.
Yes. So our company is not in. Oh, it's close to the sea. It's not in the dust where Cairo's at. But our company is not in Egypt. So Tina and Dawn, that means I'm going to have the product shipped to me by my family in Salt Lake. Either or, I just need to, get back on track. But I'm happy that my connection is great. And as if I've never left the US, the power of working online, right? We
can work from anywhere. That's why this is so
that
important.
is, I love that.
Yes. I'm so happy. So,
Yeah.
and the
because we're-
connection is great. Yeah.
You know, and you can, once you get settled somewhere, you just start back up where where you were left off, you know, and it doesn't matter where you are. Yeah, that's so awesome. And that's the only thing that allows me to be here in Mexico, you know, living in Mexico, the only way, because I can't do anything else but this, you know, working online. So that's cool.
We are in Mexico, right? Our company.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and I
So
tell
they
people,
definitely ship it straight to, because the warehouse is in San Diego.
no, you know what the crazy and amazing thing is the warehouse is in whatever country that's been authorized. So my product comes from Mexico. It's at my door in 2 to 3 days. It's unbelievable. And I live at the bottom of the Baja, which is like San Diego is halfway to Canada. It's far, the Baja. So that any truck that comes down the Baja has a 3-day drive, you know. So it's hard to get stuff here, and this stuff, the patches arrive in 2 to 3 days DHL to my doorstep. It's amazing. So I'm assuming it's the same in a lot of countries. And what I tell people is, if you go into your back office in your website and you pull the drop down menu where it has, those are all the countries. It's very easy to tell. And I also say that not all products are available in all countries. So when you put the drop-down menu on Mexico, and that's why you won't see Egypt, right? But you put any one of those countries down, then you can see the products that are available in that country, which is cool. But also what I was going to say, Betty, is I have a website or a service called My US Address or something. I'll have to look it up. I'll post a link. So there's a few different services, and what it is a forwarding service. So anything you order in the US will be shipped to that address, and then they automatically ship it to wherever in the world, like Mexico or where you are. And you would have to pay shipping from there. Mine's in Florida, and then it would go straight to Egypt. But the great thing about that service is you can choose to hold your shipments. So you can ship them, you know, a pair of shoes, LifeWave patches, something from Amazon.
This is great to know for everybody.
Yeah,
I know we
Oh,
travel, we, you know, move things, we go here.
Yeah.
So now we know. Thank
So
you.
you have your own address from that. It's free. You have your own address from that company, and you keep shipping it stuff there. You can tell them to just forward it on right away, or you can tell them to hold it. And when they hold it, they unpackage everything. Like if it's a box of shoes, they'll take the shoes out and rebox everything up. Like they'll put the patches in there, which are like this big, and then ship it wherever. So it's an amazing thing. So there you go. It doesn't matter what country you're in.
Our team solves everything.
Yeah.
there you go. Intention, the power of intention.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. And that way, I think, you know, I wouldn't encourage somebody to get into the business from some country that's not on the list, because you could put a US address down, or your brother in the UK or whatever, and then still do this business in some other country. But we definitely use it when we're moving around, and we still need to get our shipments. And the other thing about shipping is you can have several addresses, which I do. If I select the drop down to Canada, I have my Canadian address in there. I can ship to there. Then I can change it to the USA and ship it to Florida. I can change it to Mexico, ship it to Mexico. You know, you have that option. Where do you want to ship it to? But you have to change the drop down, or it won't let you put in Mexico. Yeah, people don't know that, and that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to people working these businesses in countries that their government hasn't made agreement with the companies, some of them are just working online and then doing, you know, creative. But in some countries, they can get in a lot of trouble. So we always have to cover our, you know what, and tell the whole story if you're going to tell it, so that you warn them, you know, because a lot of people just aren't aware of, you know, stuff.
Yeah, and it is a tax issue and an income issue. If you start making money, you want it to be in the country where you're paying your taxes. So So if you're in a country where it's not authorized, you can't do that. You have to, figure out something else. But for me, I'm paying my taxes in Canada, and that's my Canadian address, but I live in Mexico.
Oh, I see. It's so good to see you guys this morning.
Yeah.
I had to take a little time off, but
Yep.
good to be back. You have to do that once in a while.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a good thing about these calls. We can just connect whenever anyone has time.
Yeah.
To connect. So isn't this amazing? I'm in Mexico, you're in Egypt, and you're where in the US, Tina?
I'm actually on the East Coast. I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina. So
Yeah. They call it, some people call it Southern New York now. We had so many people that moved down.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it's really it's a melting pot here because so many people, a while back, maybe 10 years ago, it was number 3 in the nation for jobs. So as the job scene changed on the West Coast and in New York, a lot of people came here, and there was kind of a migration that started down to Florida too about 10 years ago. And now Florida, it turns out, is number 1 for the jobs in the whole US. So even more people are flocking there for different reasons also, that I won't go into. But anyway, I checked there the other day because I was just curious. I network with realtors, so I was calling a bunch of realtors, and I found out that they have a black bear problem because they protected the center of the state is mangroves, and they built into the Everglades. So the crocodiles, and they have, Crystal Springs, and it's full of panthers and wildlife, and then people have let a lot of snakes go that have, from the wild, whatever you call it, where you keep them, and put them out in the wild. So they have big anacondas and pythons. And so it's a lot of wildlife. But I talked to one realtor who said that they actually come up to her deck and they interact with the homes, and a lot of people are moving down there and they don't even know. And they're less aggressive than the California black bears, thank God, but they're still bears. And so people are surprised when they move down there for work, even to Orlando, right behind Disney World. And then they have bears coming up to their houses or helping them unload their groceries or finding them in their garages. And so when we heard that, we thought, oh, because we had considered maybe relocating because we like geographic. It's nice to change. I've been there 11 years.
Wow.
And it's nice, but it's nice to experience other places too. We had thought about Mexico, but my husband, his son just had his first child. So we have a new grandbaby, and then a second one is coming. So he wants to stay close, which I can understand, So if we were close to Disney World, that would be convenient, right?
Yeah, and that's another great thing about this business. We have, once we build it up, we have the options of,
Well, yeah, and even second homes, it's exciting. It's so exciting.
so great. And we keep forgetting that, but I do anyway. There's a lot of people that are just needing something right now. They're leaving their jobs, they're losing their jobs.
Oh, yes.
They're looking for us, in other words.
I'll just be brief. When I was going through different
we got
airports,
2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes countdown. Go ahead,
when I was
Betty.
going through different airports, they were having a shortage of what do you call those workers that push the disabled and the elderly?
Oh, yeah. The special airline employees.
It's like an agent, but
yeah,
it's an agent that pushes all these handicapped people and the elderly. And every airport, because I talked to them, those that are working, they're like, apply because we have a shortage of it. I was really just inquiring. So yeah, now I see the whole job market differently. It's no longer a lack of jobs. It's lots of jobs, but people don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
And we know why.
Yeah.
The stimulus checks did that.
Well, anyway. I think that's a multifold reason sometimes, besides just the stimulus, but so much going on change. And I agree, Don, so many people are
the mental state that Corona has made people
don't know what to do. They're lost.
feel, yes.
What am I to do? Yeah.
Oh, we got a minute.
Yeah, 1 minute. Oh, you can see that? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Glad you can
1
see
minute
it.
warning.
right.
The only problem is it says 1 minute and then it doesn't tell you the countdown.
Oh, I see.
It says less than a minute, which is what
Uh-oh,
you
we
see.
hit it. We hit it.
Less than a minute. That's what you see, right? Okay,
Yeah,
that means
About
we
30
hit it.
seconds now.
you could have 10 seconds left. That's all right. But I
30.
like it to be focused on what do they call it? Pulling the plug. Where our plug is going to be pulled out, so got no choice. So yeah, the
Thank you,
thing is
Tina.
that.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, thanks, guys. Betty,
Thank
thanks.
you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Have an awesome day and be productive and be happy.
Happy.
Be
Yeah,
happy.
unlimited happiness. Okay, all right.
See you
guys.
later.
Awesome.
Bye.
It was awesome talking to you.